Okay, so this is going to take a look at how to set up and use Google Apps for Education. First of all, we're going to take a look at Google Drive and how that functions. Now, to have this, you either need to go to Google Apps on a web browser if you've got Google Chrome installed, or if you just type in the web link that's at the top there, drive.google.com, it will ask you to sign in with your account details. Now, I'm already signed in. So it takes me through to this page here. As you can see, it's just like any other file storage system. Just to go through a couple of the basics then, over on the left-hand side, here is the area, My Drive. This has all my folders in it. And then I can create new folders and new documents from using this tab here. So if I tap on New, you can see I can create a new folder. I can upload folders from my computer, so anything that I've got existing, I can just simply copy them into Google Drive, or I can make a new Google Doc, which is equivalent to Word, Google Sheet, which is the equivalent to Excel, or Google Slides, which is the equivalent to PowerPoint. So that's how we make new things. You just simply tap on the folder, give it a title. There we go, it's simply created in my Google Drive. Now I have unlimited storage for this. At the moment I've got a private account. My personal account is giving me a 15 gig usage total. The students at USW all have unlimited accounts. They can save as much information, videos, documents, anything they want onto their Google Drive account. Okay, so the next thing to have a look at, when we've created a folder, we might want to start to make something to go in there. Now, the other thing about Google is its ability to make shared documents. Now, the sharing collaboration is a fantastic tool within Google. It enables the students to all work on the same document at the same time. It's going to be difficult for me to actually show you how that looks, it being just me using this, but simply by showing you some of the sharing options down the line, you'll be able to see some of the possibilities. So I'm going to make a new Google Doc now. It's going to live within that folder. So here's my new document I've just created, and the top is just called Untitled Document. Obviously, we're going to need to get into the habit of making sure we title all of our documents, otherwise students end up with Untitled 1 through to however many documents they've created. So good practice to get into. The tab next to that is the folder it's going to be stored into. So if you tap on that, you can organize your stuff. This has automatically been stored in that test folder that we made before, but if I need to move it somewhere, I can move it around at that point. Okay, and it's just a simple word processing tool. So typing anything in all appears on the screen as it would on Word or any other program that you're used to. Now, we're going to look at the options up here. So at the moment, this is private. So what Google does not do is start to allow all of your files to be openly accessed to anyone on the internet the moment you create them. It allows that to happen, but only if you want it to happen. So by default, anything you create is private. If I then tap on Share, gives me the option to share this with anybody. So if I just type in their email address, it will send them a link and they will see exactly the same document as I can see on my screen. Now, this is great for updating any policies, any documents that you're doing to keep everything as the latest version. Systems that we might have used before this would enable me to create a document, send it out to everyone. Then if it needed updating, I'd send them a new version of it. And then people would end up with latest version, new version, version 1.1, version 1.2. This does away with all of that. Every document that you send can instantly be updated and everyone will always have the most recent up-to-date version. They can even watch you edit it at the time you're editing it if you really want to. So you type in their email addresses and then send it off to them. Options to say whether or not you want them to also be able to edit it, or just comment, or just view. So you can turn all of those on there. So nice and simple. In the advanced settings, you can also start to specifically give individual people ownership. And down the bottom, you can see that you can prevent people from sharing this on to others. So if you want this to be a document that you share with people that you want them to be able to view, but you don't want them to be able to share this with anybody else, you can also have full control of that. So Google take your privacy of your documents very carefully and enable you to make things quite prescriptive in terms of who can see them. Okay, so back into my Drive then, you can see that test document I've made is now available within my Drive inside that folder that I made before. And I can see who I've shared that with by tapping on it. and tapping on the share icon up here. And I can see if I've shared this with anyone, their names would appear here, and I can actually take away access or give them more access. If I want to share this publicly out onto the internet, if it was a document I wanted to share home to parents, if I was teaching in school, or share something that's best practice that we want to share through the university, if I tap on Get Link, there is the live link that I can create. Really, really useful if you're going to make a QR code as well. You can obviously, anything that's in your Google Drive can be turned into a QR code, and you can put that on other documentation. At this point, it is private. Only people who I give access to can see it. So if you are going to make something public, you do need to go to sharing settings, and you do need to change that anybody can see that. So we change it here from private, and we say on public on the web. That means I can then share it and anyone will be able to see it. And again, change whether or not you want them to view it or be able to edit it as well. Okay, something else that's really, really useful for students to be able to use is the Google Forms. It's similar to SurveyMonkey, just a way to generate a quick survey, and everything is then collated within their Google Drive and kept nice and neat. To find that, if you tap on New and go to More, you'll see that you have lots of other things and you can play around with those in your own time. We're just going to look at the Google Forms now. So if I tap on Google Forms, it will then open up a new form for me to quickly put together a survey. So here's the start of my survey. Obviously, I have a title. I give my survey a title, and then we just add in the questions that we want. We have a choice of questions you want to add in there. We have multiple choice, checkboxes, drop down, short answers, paragraphs. On grids, you can put dates in, times in, all sorts of things. So lots and lots of options there when creating your survey. Once it's made, you can also track the responses. So once you've sent it out, you'll be able to see all the responses in here live. It actually does a lot of the analyzing of the data for you. And to share it, you just simply tap on the send at the top. You can choose who to send it to, or get a web link and send it out onto the internet or via an email to get people to fill it in. Really, really simple way to create surveys and get ideas back from students in terms of feedback on things that they're doing in sessions, and a great tool for students to use in the classroom as well with their students.